And welcome to our community. Susie Thomas here with you this morning. January, we talk about a pretty serious subject. It is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and we've got some representatives from PATHS with us this morning, Betty Meyer and Jim Molnar. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, PATHS, P-A-T-H-S, is an acronym. It stands for what?
Partners Against Trafficking Humans, Stark.
Partners Against Trafficking Humans, Stark. And I think, Betty, it's probably pretty amazing for most folks to think that this happens as frequently as it does and that it would even affect Stark County. Can you give us an idea of what the problem really is?
Well, the reaction is always, oh, not here. But yes, there is a problem, and it's not necessarily an active problem, but we do have one. Mm-hmm. It's on the smaller side. It's the future problem that we could have.
So we're being proactive in Stark County,
yes,
trying to look ahead at what we see happening in other areas, even other counties in
Yes.
Ohio.
Right. One of the things that our committee does is educate people, and they go out and give speeches, and we have all kinds of literature to pass out and so forth.
Well, let's get into PATHS,
Okay.
P-A-T-H-S. Again, People Against Trafficking Humans, Stark. Did I get the
Partners.
partners? Because it takes so many to work together to make
That's
this,
correct.
to prevent this, and to rescue. Tell me a little bit about the history of PATHS. How did this get organized?
Well, it started originally in Cleveland with a group of nuns, which unfortunately I cannot remember their order. And we kind of broke off from them and started our own organization here. It's ecumenical. The fact that the nuns started is just it.
That's
part
who
of it.
started.
And it was started small, and we're still not very large. But we have tried to do a lot of community activities. We try to be at the county fair. We are at First Friday when we can be, passing out literature, doing face painting for kids, and just trying to bring them in and to learn. We go out and speak. We're very happy to have people contact us for a speaker. We have a PowerPoint, or we can speak without it, either way, and let people know just what kind of person is attracted to being trafficked.
Yeah.
Because there is, you have people that are very vulnerable that could be trafficked in a heartbeat.
We're going to get into some of those
And it's not
things,
only
yeah.
just women, it's men with labor.
Right.
So it's a big subject. I guess we primarily look at it as sexual orientation here, as far as rather than labor. But it's both.
It's any kind of modern day slavery, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Betty, what is your position with PATHS?
I'm the treasurer.
All right, we're going to be talking to you more about financing for sure a little bit later.
Yes, I am the treasurer, and we are not a 501c3.
Okay.
But we hope to be someday.
How many years did you say it has been in Stark County?
Gosh, I'm not sure exactly. I'm guessing because it was here before I got involved. I'm guessing 5-6 years. But it was an offshoot of Cleveland. I just don't know the exact number of years.
That's totally fine. Jim Molnar,
Yes.
Your position with PATHS is?
I'm actually a volunteer with the organization because my official role is with the Casa Guardian ad Litem program.
Yes.
We look at kids that are going to fall through the cracks, of course, because that's the foster kids that we take care of. And in line with that, it fits perfectly, it fits well with looking out for kids that have been trafficked or could be vulnerable to be trafficked.
Well, I'm guessing now because of your involvement that kids that end up in the legal system that are in the Guardian ad litem program might have some of those attributes that you're talking about, that these are the vulnerable young people that have what characteristics? What are we looking for? What is a person that someone else might see them and say these are the characteristics of a potential trafficked person?
A lot of times it's someone with low self-esteem, someone who doesn't have a parental figure to look up to, someone who looks at their home environment, struggling at school, as something they want to get away from. They're befriended by someone who looks to be someone who's going to give them all that. And before you know it, they're promising better clothes, better life. And from that, they get almost kidnapped into a situation they can't get out of. A lot of time they're taken from their home environment. They can be literally taken across town or cross state, which they have no idea where they're at.
What's frightening is what you described there is almost every adolescent or a good part of the adolescent population at some point in their lives. What do we need to learn from that?
What we need to learn from that is that we need to pay more attention to our kids, be more involved with them. Most of the time, kids are not, even though we say that they're complaining and they're doing this or they're doing that, generally speaking, they're complaining about something that is significant to them. If they're having trouble in school, listen to them. Mm-hmm. Be aware that even though they're children, they do have concerns and they do have worries. And another thing we need to do is educate both our young and our old people about as to not only how to treat kids, but also be aware that when they speak, listen to them.
How crucial is knowing what they're doing online?
That's really crucial because that's another way that I think it's called Backpage. That's a place where there are a lot of advertisements, and especially in this area. There was a study done about 6 months ago with the different collaboratives in the area that showed that there were at least, I believe it was every day, 60 to 64 different ads, both for people looking for a sexual experience as well as offering it. And a lot of these are things that, of course, involve trafficked human beings.
No one wants to become a slave to anyone for whatever reason. So what do they use? What do these predators use to draw these young people in?
They'll promise them clothes. They'll promise them food. They'll promise them a nice apartment. They'll promise them the good life that they haven't had. One thing I wanted to add to Jim is that in times before these, and possibly you might equate it to the back page, they used to find young people who ran away.
Yes.
To the big city, that came in on the bus and looked frightened and alone, and then offer them friendship, and their friendship led them right into slavery.
To be trapped. That kind of leads to my next question. If we're out and around, or if we're with young people, or happen to cross paths with a young person, what should we be watching for as signs, as flags of this might be someone who's in this situation?
That's not easy, because you could make a mistake and then you'd be in big trouble.
Right.
You know. But I think you see the child who's more sullen and withdrawn, more surly a lot of times. They're not happy with themselves, let alone the world.
And that does seem almost like a catch-22 because, as you say, you're in trouble. No one wants the embarrassment of reporting something that's not so. But what a risk to not report something, and then if you suspect abuse of any kind, we're required to report it. So, yikes, help me out here.
Well, there's a couple things also to look forward to, especially if they're a little bit older. One is the fact that they have someone speaking for them all the time. They're not alone. They're looking over their shoulder. The person taking care of them may be just a couple feet away. It could be a block away. Those are kind of situations to look for. Another situation is someone who looks young enough that they should be traveling with a family instead of having a key to a hotel themselves.
Right.
And if that's the case, what we ask you to do is see where you're at, report it, call. There's the hotline number for human trafficking. It's 888-373-7888.
Okay,
And
let's
it's-
give that again.
Okay, it's 1-888-3737-888. That's the easiest way to remember it.
Okay.
And what law enforcement asks you to do is, other than that, don't get involved. Just report where you are. Let them take it from there. You can call 911 and report it that way too. One reason they don't want you to get involved is because it is just as dangerous for you, but also for that victim person that their pimp or whoever finds out that they've been talking to someone. So you're putting their life in danger, thinking you're going to be able to help them. Best thing to do is report it. They can start identifying the different areas of town that this is occurring at. They can circle around and survey that area a little bit better, and then slowly close in and capture the different people that need to be captured.
It gives you something to go on, that
Right.
you just make the call and then let them describe what you're seeing, and then let them take it from there. Let the professionals handle it.
Time of day, exact location, and what you suspected, and let the authorities handle it from there.
We're talking with Betty Meyer and Jim Molnar, both from PATHS. This is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Again, as Betty said, people, their first response is, well, not around here. How bad is the situation here?
Part of the reason why it's so bad is Ohio specifically is a roadmap of different intersections and highways that go all over the nation. Toledo is a hub for it, and actually Fair Lawn is another one, especially Route 77, all the hotels around here. Just in the last, I would say, 6 months, there have been 7 cases identified in Stark County. And these are individuals who you have to understand they run on survival instincts. So when you run into somebody like this, they don't necessarily think they're in a bad situation. And yet, as a normal human being, us living the lives we do, coming home every day, eating, a fairly routine kind of lifestyle, we can't think that someone else wouldn't want that. Because of that, in all the hotels, we have found out that with the sporting events, a lot of times right after the sporting events, this is a hub for people coming and soliciting for sex and offering it as well.
You also labor, which I think is interesting. We do have, my goodness, a robust migrant population that have come here for a better life. They work the farms, particularly in Hartville. Kind of a very positive situation going on with a Hartville migrant ministry going on. What is the difference between someone who is choosing to come and live that lifestyle and someone who is being trafficked as a laborer?
Well, probably the biggest difference is freedom. The one who comes on his own is welcomed. He's welcomed with a welcome gift, and they have all kinds of programs for them up at Hartville. And they are allowed to participate. They're out in the community. Now,
And like you say, they can leave whenever they want.
That's right.
Yeah.
When Jim and I were talking before, I equated it to I owe my soul to the company store kind of thing. They can't leave because they never pay their bill.
We've got more with Betty Meyer and Jim Molnar, finding out some personal stories that you've got to share. We'll do that after these words. You're listening to our community.